Ladies and gentlemen, there's a quiet, unassuming power in the way an intelligent woman navigates the complexities of life. It's not about grand gestures or proclamations, but about the strategic decisions she makes regarding what she chooses to share and what she chooses to guard. In a world where oversharing has become the norm, there's wisdom in knowing that not everything deserves an audience. The first thing an intelligent woman keeps private is her personal struggles. She understands that while vulnerability has its place, broadcasting her difficulties to the world doesn't guarantee understanding or support. Instead, she selectively confides in those she trusts, those who've earned the right to hear her story. Why? Because she knows the power of perception. The world often takes your struggles and uses them as ammunition. She doesn't let temporary emotions dictate permanent decisions. Secondly, an intelligent woman keeps her future plans to herself, not out of secrecy, but out of strategy. She knows that speaking too soon invites unnecessary opinions, doubt, and interference. Dreams are fragile in their infancy, easily crushed by the weight of skepticism or envy. She acts first and lets her results speak for themselves. The more silently and decisively she works, the less energy she wastes defending her vision to those who may never understand it. Lastly, she keeps her relationships private. Whether it's her romantic life, friendships, or family dynamics, she knows these connections thrive in intimacy, not in public scrutiny. Oversharing invites judgment, opinions, and even jealousy. She guards the sanctity of her relationships because she values their authenticity more than external validation. What ties these three things together is self-respect and self-preservation. The intelligent woman recognizes that privacy isn't about hiding, it's about protecting. It's about creating boundaries that allow her to focus on growth, to operate from a position of strength rather than defense. It's not a weakness, but a strength to guard what matters most. Privacy is one of the most undervalued yet profoundly empowering tools in the modern age. In a world where oversharing has become almost synonymous with self-expression, the ability to withhold certain aspects of one's life from public view is an act of quiet defiance. It is an assertion of control in a time when so much of our personal autonomy is willingly handed over to the ever-hungry machine of social media, gossip, and public opinion. Choosing privacy is not about fear or avoidance, it's about intentionality, about deciding what parts of yourself are sacred and deserve protection from the noise and chaos of the world. An intelligent woman understands that what she shares becomes part of the public domain, subject to interpretation, distortion, and judgment. The more access people have to her private life, the more vulnerable she becomes to unsolicited opinions and criticism. She knows that not everyone watching or listening has her best interests at heart. For every person who genuinely supports her, there may be countless others who envy her, misunderstand her, or even actively seek to undermine her. Privacy then becomes her shield, a way to ensure that her inner world remains untainted by the projections and biases of others. Privacy also allows her to maintain a sense of mystery, which is a form of power in itself. When too much is revealed, the sense of curiosity fades, and with it, a key aspect of influence. People naturally gravitate toward those who hold something back, who don't feel the need to constantly explain themselves or seek validation. By guarding her personal thoughts, plans, and emotions, she cultivates an aura of depth and complexity. This doesn't mean she's unapproachable or aloof, it simply means she recognizes that not everyone is entitled to access her inner world. She shares selectively, ensuring that her words and actions carry weight because they are not diluted by constant exposure. Privacy is also a safeguard for her emotional and mental well-being. The more she shares, the more she opens herself up to external influences, which can cloud her judgment and destabilize her focus. An intelligent woman knows that her energy is precious and finite. She chooses to invest it in endeavors that align with her goals and values, rather than wasting it on unnecessary explanations or reactions to the opinions of others. Privacy gives her the space to process her thoughts, make decisions, and grow without the pressure of an audience. It allows her to fail quietly, learn from her mistakes, and try again without the burden of external scrutiny. Moreover, privacy is not just about what she chooses to withhold, but also about what she chooses to share. An intelligent woman recognizes that true connection and trust are built in intimate, meaningful interactions, not in broadcasting her life for the world to see. She values quality over quantity, depth over breadth. By keeping certain aspects of her life private, she ensures that what she does share is authentic and purposeful. It's a conscious decision to prioritize substance over spectacle. Sharing personal struggles can feel like a release, a way to connect with others, or to seek validation and support. However, an intelligent woman understands the risks inherent in making her difficulties widely known. She recognizes that while vulnerability can be powerful, not everyone has the capacity or the intention to respond with empathy or understanding. There is wisdom and discretion in knowing when and where to reveal your challenges, and more importantly, when to keep them to yourself. This is not about being secretive or pretending to have a perfect life, but about protecting one's emotional well-being and maintaining control over one's narrative. When a personal struggle is shared indiscriminately, it can quickly spiral out of control. The details of one's life, once made public, are no longer within one's control. People may interpret the situation in ways that suit their own perspectives or agendas, sometimes twisting the story into something unrecognizable. Gossip spreads, assumptions are made, and suddenly a deeply personal matter becomes fodder for public discussion. The intelligent woman avoids this by being selective with her disclosures, choosing only to confide in those who have proven their trustworthiness. She knows that some people listen not to support, but to gain leverage or to feed their own curiosity. Furthermore, sharing struggles widely can often invite unhelpful advice or criticism. Well-meaning but uninformed opinions can add to the burden rather than alleviating it. Worse still, there are those who might use a person's struggles as ammunition, wielding it against them in moments of conflict or weakness. The intelligent woman recognizes that the world is not always a safe place for vulnerability. She understands that while it's important to seek help when needed, this help should come from a trusted circle, a therapist, a close friend, or a family member, not from strangers or acquaintances who might lack the context or the care to respond appropriately. Keeping personal struggles private also allows the intelligent woman to process her emotions on her own terms. When a struggle is made public, it often comes with external pressure to act, explain, or resolve the issue in a way that satisfies others. This can detract from her ability to handle the situation authentically and effectively. Privacy creates the space she needs to reflect, to make sense of her feelings, and to determine the best course of action without the added noise of external expectations. It allows her to grow stronger through her challenges without feeling the need to perform resilience for an audience. Moreover, not all struggles are permanent. Life is filled with ups and downs, and what feels overwhelming in the moment may become a minor bump in the road with time and perspective. By keeping her struggles private, the intelligent woman avoids creating a lasting narrative around a temporary hardship. She retains the freedom to move forward without being forever defined by what she's been through. It's not about hiding her pain, but about preserving her dignity and ensuring that her story is written on her terms, not dictated by the opinions or judgments of others. An intelligent woman understands that her dreams and future plans are among the most delicate and vulnerable parts of her identity. They are a reflection of her ambitions, desires, and personal vision for her life. But she also knows that sharing these plans prematurely can invite unintended consequences that can jeopardize not just the plans themselves, but also her confidence and motivation to pursue them. Therefore, she keeps her future plans private, not out of secrecy, but as a deliberate strategy to protect what matters most to her. Dreams are fragile, particularly in their early stages. They require nurturing, focus, and care before they are ready to withstand the scrutiny of the world. When an idea or plan is shared too soon, it becomes exposed to a range of external influences, opinions, doubts, skepticism, and even envy. Some people may criticize or undermine her plans, not because they are inherently flawed, but because those individuals project their own limitations or insecurities onto them. Others, often unintentionally, may plant seeds of doubt that disrupt her confidence or clarity of purpose. By keeping her plans private, she shields herself from these potentially harmful influences and preserves the purity of her vision. Sharing plans prematurely can also create a false sense of accomplishment. Psychologically, talking about future goals can give the illusion of progress, tricking the mind into believing that action has already been taken. This can reduce the urgency to act, leading to procrastination or loss of momentum. The intelligent woman is aware of this phenomenon and avoids falling into the trap of seeking validation or recognition for something that has not yet been achieved. She prioritizes execution over explanation, focusing her energy on taking concrete steps toward her goals rather than prematurely celebrating or defending them. Another reason an intelligent woman guards her plans is to maintain control over her narrative. Once a plan is shared, it often becomes subject to external expectations and pressures. People may start asking for updates, offering unsolicited advice, or even holding her accountable to timelines or outcomes she never agreed to. This external pressure can become a distraction, pulling her away from the intrinsic motivation that originally fueled her ambition. By keeping her plans private, she retains the freedom to adapt, pivot, or even abandon a goal without feeling the need to explain herself to others. Additionally, she recognizes the power of surprise. When goals are achieved quietly and without fanfare, the results often speak louder than words. Success becomes undeniable, unclouded by the noise of prior announcements or justifications. This element of surprise not only amplifies the impact of her accomplishments, but also ensures that she avoids unnecessary competition or interference along the way. People are less likely to sabotage or copy what they don't see coming. Protecting her plans also fosters a sense of inner confidence. It creates a private space where she can dream boldly and plan freely without fear of judgment. In this space, she can test ideas, take risks, and explore possibilities without the added pressure of an audience. This freedom to dream and act without external interference is critical to her ability to turn her vision into reality. It's not about secrecy, it's about creating an environment in which her ambitions can thrive without distraction or derailment. An intelligent woman understands that relationships, whether romantic, familial, or friendships, are deeply personal and sacred. The intimacy of these connections is what makes them meaningful, and this intimacy thrives in privacy. When relationships are exposed to the scrutiny of the outside world, they can easily lose their authenticity, becoming distorted by the judgment and expectations of others. The intelligent woman knows that by keeping her relationships private, she is preserving the integrity of those connections and protecting them from external forces that could disrupt their natural flow. Publicly sharing the dynamics of her relationships invites not only judgment but also unnecessary interference. Whether it's a romantic partner, a close friend, or a family member, once others are aware of the details of a relationship, they begin to form opinions. These opinions, often based on incomplete or biased information, can affect how others view the relationship and the people involved. In romantic relationships, for example, well-meaning friends or family members might offer advice or opinions that may not be appropriate or helpful. These external voices can create confusion or doubt, pulling the couple away from their own understanding of each other and their relationship. The intelligent woman knows that it is far better to navigate these dynamics privately, without the influence of others who may not have the full context or the best interests of both parties in mind. The more a relationship is exposed to public scrutiny, the more vulnerable it becomes to jealousy, criticism, or even envy. People, even those who consider themselves close, may harbor feelings of resentment toward the happiness or success of others, which can manifest in subtle undermining or passive-aggressive behavior. The intelligent woman recognizes that by keeping her relationship private, she avoids inviting these negative energies into her life. She understands that people may judge or critique her relationship based on their own biases or experiences, and that these judgments can poison the connection she shares with another person. Privacy ensures that the relationship remains untouched by the opinions of outsiders, allowing it to grow and evolve on its own terms. Additionally, the private nature of her relationships protects the vulnerability of the individuals involved. Relationships, particularly close ones, are built on trust and mutual understanding. When these relationships are exposed to the world, they can be reduced to mere entertainment or spectacle. People may focus on the drama or gossip of a relationship, rather than the deeper emotions and commitments that bind the individuals together. The intelligent woman keeps her relationships private not because she is ashamed or secretive, but because she wants to protect the rawness and vulnerability that make these connections genuine. She knows that when a relationship is constantly on display, it becomes harder for those involved to feel truly seen or understood, as they are constantly aware of how they are being perceived by others. Furthermore, privacy helps maintain a sense of independence within a relationship. The intelligent woman understands that while relationships are vital for emotional support and growth, they should not define her entire identity. By keeping the relationship private, she ensures that both she and her partner can retain their individuality and autonomy, free from the pressure of conforming to external expectations. This privacy allows both individuals to grow and evolve without the burden of always having to explain or defend their connection to others. It ensures that their bond remains authentic rather than shaped by the demands or judgments of the outside world. Ultimately, by keeping relationships private, the intelligent woman creates a space where love, trust, and loyalty can flourish without the constant threat of external interference. She recognizes that privacy in relationships is not about hiding or keeping secrets, it is about creating a sanctuary where both individuals can freely navigate their connection, build a deeper understanding of one another, and protect the sacredness of their bond. An intelligent woman values privacy because it acts as a form of self-preservation, shielding her from the chaotic and often draining demands of the external world. In a society that constantly pushes for transparency, openness, and instant access, the act of choosing privacy is an act of reclaiming control over one's own life. Privacy is not about isolation or creating barriers, but about establishing healthy boundaries that protect her mental, emotional, and physical well-being. It allows her to maintain clarity, focus, and the energy necessary for the pursuits that truly matter to her. The modern world is filled with distractions, people, opinions, expectations, and noise from all directions. For many, it can be difficult to discern what's truly important amidst all the competing demands. An intelligent woman, however, understands that to be effective in her work, relationships, and personal development, she must have a clear and focused mind. Privacy allows her to create the space she needs to reflect, to think deeply, and to engage in activities that align with her personal values and long-term goals. Without this private space, it becomes easy to get lost in the constant demands for attention and validation that permeate everyday life. One of the greatest benefits of privacy is that it gives her the ability to recharge. The world can be exhausting, especially when she is constantly engaging with others, responding to their needs, or addressing their concerns. Over time, this can lead to burnout or a depletion of emotional energy. By keeping parts of her life private, she reserves the energy she needs for her own growth and well-being. Whether it's time for self-care, pursuing a personal passion, or simply enjoying quiet moments alone, privacy ensures that she doesn't become overwhelmed by the constant pull of external influences. Additionally, privacy helps her preserve a sense of autonomy and control over her life. In a culture that often values the public persona, where social media thrives on the idea of constant sharing, it can feel as though one's identity is shaped more by external forces than by personal choices. When an intelligent woman keeps certain aspects of her life private, she is asserting that she will define herself, not the world around her. She resists the temptation to conform to societal pressures or to live up to other people's expectations. Privacy, in this sense, is not about hiding, it's about maintaining the integrity of her self-definition. It's about creating space where her decisions and actions are guided by her own principles rather than by the fleeting trends or judgments of others. Moreover, privacy helps her avoid unnecessary conflict or tension that often arises from oversharing. When too much is revealed, there's a greater risk of misunderstanding, miscommunication, or unnecessary drama. The intelligent woman recognizes that not everyone needs to know everything about her life, and by withholding certain details, she can prevent people from making assumptions, passing judgment, or offering unsolicited advice. She knows that people's perceptions are often shaped by their own experiences, biases, and insecurities, which may not always align with her reality. Privacy helps her avoid the burden of defending herself against these external judgments, allowing her to stay focused on what truly matters. Furthermore, privacy allows an intelligent woman to live with greater intention. The more of her life she keeps private, the more she can prioritize her actions and decisions based on her values, not the opinions of others. She is able to engage in relationships, projects, and activities that are truly meaningful to her, without feeling the pressure to explain herself or justify her choices to anyone. This sense of autonomy fosters self-confidence and self-respect, as she knows that the path she is on is one she has chosen for herself, not one influenced by outside forces. In a world where so many are eager to overshare and demand attention, the intelligent woman understands that the greatest power lies in privacy. It is the tool that allows her to maintain her focus, autonomy, and peace of mind, giving her the freedom to pursue her goals and aspirations without being bogged down by the distractions and opinions of others. Privacy for her is not an escape, it is a conscious decision to protect what she holds dear and to live a life that is truly her own. An intelligent woman understands that silence can be one of her most powerful tools. In a world where there is an almost constant pressure to speak, explain, and justify one's actions, choosing to remain silent or to withhold certain information often speaks louder than any words could. Silence is not a sign of weakness or a lack of communication, rather, it is a sign of strength and discernment. It is an intentional act of self-control and purpose. By choosing when to speak and when to remain silent, she takes back her power, preserving her energy and directing it where it is most needed. There is immense value in saying less, especially when words are used thoughtlessly or impulsively. Many people are quick to fill every silence with chatter, often to fill an awkward void or to seek validation from others. The intelligent woman, however, recognizes that not every situation requires a response, and not every question demands an answer. By holding her tongue when necessary, she maintains control over her emotions, ensuring that her words are always deliberate and meaningful. This ability to remain silent in the face of provocation or pressure allows her to navigate difficult situations with grace and composure. Instead of reacting hastily or rashly, she takes the time to carefully consider her response, weighing its potential impact and relevance. In doing so, she avoids unnecessary conflict or misunderstandings that often arise from speaking without thinking. Furthermore, silence offers the intelligent woman the space to observe and listen more effectively. In conversations, it is easy to become focused on one's own thoughts, responses, and desires to be heard. However, by remaining quiet at times, she opens herself to truly understanding the perspectives of others. She listens intently to the nuances of their words, the emotions behind them, and the intentions that guide their actions. This allows her to make more informed decisions, build stronger connections, and respond with greater empathy. Silence is not a void, it is an active process of reflection and attentiveness that enables her to learn more about those around her and the world in general. In some cases, silence can be a shield, protecting her from negative influences or toxic interactions. When surrounded by people who are critical, judgmental, or insincere, she knows that speaking up or engaging in the conversation might only drain her energy or open the door for unnecessary conflict. By remaining silent in such situations, she creates a protective boundary that keeps her from being dragged into negativity. It is a way of conserving her emotional resources for the relationships and situations that truly matter, rather than wasting them on individuals or circumstances that do not serve her well-being. Additionally, silence can be an expression of confidence and authority. The intelligent woman does not feel the need to constantly prove herself through words. She knows that her actions will speak for her, and that she does not need to defend her every decision or action. By choosing to be quiet when she feels secure in her choices, she shows that she is comfortable with herself and her path, free from the pressure to explain or justify her existence. This calm, composed presence can be incredibly empowering, not just for her, but for those around her. People are drawn to those who do not feel the need to constantly talk or defend their choices. The intelligent woman, through her silence, invites respect and admiration, as her stillness conveys confidence and wisdom. Silence also allows for deeper self-reflection and growth. In moments of silence, she can process her emotions, examine her motivations, and clarify her intentions. It is during these quiet moments that she is able to connect with her true self, away from the noise and distractions of the world. This internal dialogue is crucial for her growth and development, as it helps her make thoughtful decisions, evaluate her actions, and realign with her values when necessary. Silence is a space for introspection, a vital component in her ongoing journey of self-discovery and improvement. In many ways, silence represents control over one's own narrative. By choosing not to divulge every detail of her life, she retains the ability to manage how she is perceived and understood. Her silence creates a certain mystique and allows her to hold back pieces of herself that she deems sacred or personal. This selective sharing allows her to maintain a sense of mystery, which can be a powerful tool in relationships and interactions. People are naturally curious about those who do not reveal everything about themselves, and this intrigue can draw others to her without the need for constant communication or explanation. Ultimately, the intelligent woman uses silence not just as a retreat from the noise of the world, but as a way to center herself, preserve her energy, and assert her presence without ever uttering a word. In her silence, there is power that allows her to navigate life with clarity, poise, and intention. An intelligent woman knows that not every opinion or judgment requires her response. In fact, she often chooses to withhold her reaction to criticism, as she understands that engaging with every negative opinion can be emotionally draining and counterproductive. Rather than reacting impulsively or defensively, she takes a step back, assesses the situation, and decides whether it is worth her time and energy to respond. This level of self-awareness and emotional discipline is a hallmark of her intelligence. She is not driven by the need to please others or to constantly justify her choices to everyone around her. Instead, she chooses to reserve her energy for matters that truly require attention, avoiding unnecessary conflict or stress. Criticism, particularly when it comes from individuals who do not fully understand the context of her actions or decisions, is often based on limited information or personal biases. An intelligent woman recognizes that much of the criticism she faces is not an accurate reflection of who she is or what she stands for. It is easy to be misunderstood, and those who offer unsolicited opinions may not always have the full picture. Engaging with such criticism can lead to misunderstandings or conflicts that detract from her ability to focus on what truly matters. By withholding her reaction, she is able to prevent herself from becoming entangled in irrelevant disputes and can instead focus her attention on more meaningful pursuits. Moreover, responding to every piece of criticism can create a toxic cycle of validation seeking, where the need for approval from others drives decisions and behaviors. An intelligent woman understands that her worth does not depend on the approval of others, nor does her path need to be dictated by the opinions of those who may not share her perspective. By choosing not to react to criticism, she affirms her autonomy and self-respect. She has the confidence to stand firm in her decisions, knowing that not everyone will agree with her, and that is perfectly fine. She is not motivated by the desire to be liked by everyone, but rather by a sense of purpose and alignment with her own values. Withholding her reaction to criticism also allows her to conserve her emotional energy. Criticism, especially when it is harsh or unwarranted, can stir up feelings of anger, frustration, or self-doubt. Responding immediately to such emotions can lead to regretful actions or words that she may later wish she could take back. By pausing before reacting, the intelligent woman gives herself the time she needs to process the criticism and decide if it is worth engaging with. This pause gives her the opportunity to respond from a place of calm and clarity rather than from a reactive or defensive mindset. By conserving her energy, she avoids unnecessary emotional turmoil and ensures that she is not wasting time on battles that do not contribute to her growth or well-being. Furthermore, choosing not to react to criticism demonstrates maturity and emotional intelligence. It is a sign of strength to remain composed in the face of negative feedback, rather than becoming easily agitated or defensive. This level of emotional regulation is not about suppressing emotions, but about having the wisdom to know when it is appropriate to express them and when it is better to let them pass. By holding back from reacting impulsively, the intelligent woman cultivates inner peace and emotional resilience. She does not let every criticism shake her sense of self or disrupt her emotional balance. Instead, she navigates challenges with grace and thoughtfulness, remaining true to her own values and goals. Another reason she may withhold her response is to prevent giving more power to those who criticize her. Engaging with criticism often reinforces the critic's viewpoint, allowing their words to take up more space in her mind and energy. By not responding, she refuses to give those negative opinions the power to influence her. She recognizes that how much weight she gives to criticism is ultimately in her control. She is not interested in giving airtime to voices that do not add value to her life. In this way, she asserts control over the narrative and keeps her focus on what truly matters to her. By not reacting immediately to criticism, the intelligent woman also creates room for introspection. She takes the time to carefully evaluate whether the criticism is valid and if there is anything she can learn from it. This reflective process allows her to grow and improve without the need for external validation. If the criticism is constructive, she can use it as a tool for self-improvement. If it is unfounded or malicious, she can simply let it go, undisturbed by the noise. This ability to differentiate between what is valuable and what is not is a key aspect of emotional intelligence, and it allows her to navigate the complexities of life with confidence and poise. In the end, by choosing not to react to every criticism, the intelligent woman creates a space where she can remain true to herself and her values, regardless of the opinions of others. She conserves her energy, preserves her emotional well-being, and allows herself to focus on the things that truly matter. Her strength lies not in her ability to defend herself against every attack, but in her ability to stand firm in her truth and to remain undistracted by the noise of the world. An intelligent woman knows that her true power lies in her ability to protect her privacy when it comes to the most vulnerable aspects of her life. She understands that the more personal details she shares with others, the more susceptible she becomes to their judgments, opinions, and potential manipulation. The act of keeping certain things private, whether it is her emotions, struggles, fears, or even the most intimate details of her life, allows her to retain control over her own narrative. This practice is not about secrecy or hiding, but about preserving her inner peace and autonomy. It is a conscious choice to guard the spaces that are meant to be hers alone, without the influence or interference of others. By keeping her struggles and vulnerabilities private, An intelligent woman shields herself from unnecessary external scrutiny. Everyone faces challenges in life, but not all of them need to be aired for public consumption. When people share their difficulties with others, they often open themselves up to unsolicited advice, opinions, or judgments that may not be helpful or supportive. Moreover, others may use her vulnerabilities against her, whether consciously or unconsciously, and this can lead to feelings of betrayal or discomfort. By keeping her struggles private, she retains her dignity and personal strength, allowing herself to process difficult emotions in a safe and intimate space. Another reason an intelligent woman keeps her personal life private is to preserve her emotional energy. Vulnerability, while important for connection and growth, can also be draining. Sharing intimate details of one's emotional state or personal challenges with others can sometimes lead to emotional fatigue, especially when the responses received are less than supportive or understanding. The intelligent woman knows that her emotional energy is a valuable resource that should be spent wisely. She does not waste it on people or situations that do not contribute positively to her well-being. By maintaining privacy in certain areas of her life, she ensures that her emotional reserves are protected and preserved for the relationships and experiences that truly matter. Furthermore, privacy allows her to process and heal from difficult experiences at her own pace. When dealing with emotional or personal turmoil, an intelligent woman recognizes that she needs time and space to process what has happened. Sharing too much too soon can impede the healing process, as it may lead to over-explanation or the seeking of external validation. The intelligent woman understands that her healing journey is unique to her, and it is not something that needs to be shared with everyone around her. By keeping certain struggles private, she gives herself the freedom to navigate her emotions without the added pressure of others' expectations or opinions. In addition, keeping personal matters private allows her to maintain a sense of mystery and autonomy. People are naturally curious about others, and when someone opens up too much, they risk losing their sense of individuality or uniqueness. An intelligent woman knows that by keeping certain aspects of her life private, she retains control over how much others know about her. This sense of privacy creates a certain mystique and allure, as others are drawn to the idea of a person who is not easily understood or easily accessible. This mystery adds to her power, as it allows her to set boundaries and maintain a level of respect and intrigue in her relationships. Maintaining privacy also allows the intelligent woman to make decisions based on her own values and priorities, rather than being influenced by the opinions of others. When personal details are shared too freely, it can lead to the unwanted influence of outside voices. People may offer advice or suggestions based on their own experiences or biases, and while their intentions may be good, these outside opinions may not align with the woman's own values or desires. By keeping her decisions private, she ensures that her choices are driven by her internal compass and are not clouded by the preferences or judgments of others. Moreover, privacy protects her relationships from unnecessary strain. When personal details are shared with too many people, it can cause tension or confusion, especially if those details are misinterpreted or distorted. The intelligent woman understands that certain aspects of her relationships, whether romantic, familial, or friendships, are meant to be sacred and shared only with those who are directly involved. By keeping her most personal matters private, she safeguards the trust and intimacy that are necessary for the health of these relationships. She does not risk exposing them to unnecessary judgment or external influence, which could weaken the bonds she has worked hard to cultivate. In a world where oversharing is often seen as a sign of openness or vulnerability, an intelligent woman knows that privacy is a form of strength. It allows her to maintain her boundaries, preserve her emotional well-being, and protect the sanctity of her personal life. By choosing what to share and what to keep private, she ensures that her journey remains authentically her own, free from the noise and interference of the outside world. This practice not only empowers her but also enables her to build stronger, more meaningful connections with others based on trust, respect, and mutual understanding. In conclusion, the intelligent woman understands that privacy is not about secrecy or withholding her true self from the world. It is a deliberate and powerful act of self-preservation, autonomy, and strength. By keeping certain aspects of her life private, whether it's her emotions, relationships, personal struggles, or even her responses to criticism, she creates the space necessary for her to thrive without unnecessary interference, judgment, or distraction. She knows that the most valuable parts of her life are those that she controls and protects, allowing her to remain focused on her own growth and goals. In a world that constantly demands more of us, the intelligent woman chooses to be selective about what she reveals, preserving her peace of mind and protecting the sanctity of her personal journey. Through this careful balance of openness and privacy, she navigates life with grace, confidence, and clarity, ensuring that she remains true to herself and her values no matter what the world may throw her way.